SAFC fans react. I'm Shaun Middleton, and today, after the 1-1 draw last Saturday against Luton, and then the 2-0 victory at Huddersfield on Wednesday, the attention turns to Cardiff City versus Sunderland at the Stadium Light. The final score, the game has ended. Sunderland 0, Cardiff City 1, and now I'll be getting the fans' reactions as they leave the Stadium Light. Could you please like, share, and subscribe to our channel? Remember, there's about 60 or 70% of people who watch our content that are not subscribed. Would you please, if you're unsure how to subscribe, just ask somebody. It doesn't take long. It only takes a couple of minutes, and it just helps us along the way. Hopefully, this is the last game for us for a while at the Stadium Light. The World Cup will start in a couple of weeks, so let's get behind the England and behind Gareth Southgate, and hopefully we can bring it home. Stay safe and enjoy your night, and bye for now. Take care. SFC fans reacting. I'm with Junior outside the Stadium Light. It's unfortunately Sunderland have had back-to-back defeats at the Stadium Light. Not looking good at the moment. Tony Mowbray, what do you think, Junior?
That was fucking diabolical.
It was though.
Anything else?
It was shite. Shite? No, there's no you can see a Shaun. There's no you can see a mate.
Was that a Tony Mowbray performance?
I'm glad that there's a massive break here. I'm over the moon. There's a massive break because I didn't want to come here anymore.
I said that coming across.
He knows this break gladly.
I said that coming across.
It was awful, mate. That was disgusting. That. I mean, normally when I'm on your channels, I'm like, yes, yes, come on, but I went, mate. Everyone's fucking depressed.
Do you know though, in that game we had a couple of lifelines. Like
it was a Tony Mowbray performance.
The penalty was the lifeline. Patterson saved it, yeah. And then we got to half time without conceding, which was a miracle, really. At that point, the manager, he can look at it and he can look. He's a professional manager. He can look at it and say, "Look, this is not working."
With experience as well.
Make a couple of changes and change the system because we couldn't get out from the back. But Mowbray stood there.
Park the bus. Shite.
Unbelievable.
Shite. Absolutely shit, mate.
Unbelievable.
That's all you can say.
Really annoyed me in that game. It seems like it's one step forward, two step back with Sunderland every time.
Really, really bad. It was bad.
It was bad.
Normally I've got loads to talk about, but I've got no to talk about. But it was shit, mate. It was really bad. That it was crap. And for these to watch this, Shaun, he's just had 2 matches this morning and played much better than that. That was awful to watch. Normally you attack bands to like professional games to pick things up and that, but you didn't. You've got to go and fucking. You've got to you bring these in, mate, to watch that, learn a couple of things. But they should come watch us. So we can learn them a couple of things. Fucking shite.
Cheers for your time, lads, Ali. Cheers. Cheers, mate, Ali. Take care, buddy. Andy is on SAFC fans react. Andy, back-to-back defeats for Sunderland. Really gutless, poor performance by Sunderland this afternoon.
Well, it was up till about the 60th minute mark, and when he took Sims off, who I just do not rate at all. There's something about him. For a big lad, he just seems to...
Who's that?
Sims.
Oh, Sims, yeah. He didn't do nothing, but he wasn't getting nothing, though, was he? He wasn't getting nothing, was he?
Yeah, no, but he just doesn't try to get it himself, does he? I think since they why was Pritchard not up from the start?
He just wanted to... I think Wednesday, he wasn't happy. Mowbray wasn't happy with what he's seen, and I think he just wanted to freshen it up.
Because, in some ways, they were lucky to only lose the game 1-0.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've just said the prior interview. What I don't understand is for Tony Mowbray, right? We got half time 0-0. It was a miracle, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But he got a lifeline. He got 2 of them with a penalty save.
Yeah,
so at half time, you get them players in. You tell them where they're going wrong, change something, a couple of things, and then make a couple of changes, a couple of subs. Do you know what I mean? He didn't do nothing.
I said the same thing.
Still stand.
I said the same thing to Debbie there. I said to go in at half time 0-0, it'll feel like as though we're going in.
That's what I mean. That's what it felt like, didn't it?
But then, like I say, it seemed to change from about the 60th minute mark. I don't know if they started running out of legs and we came on a bit, but. They just don't look like there's
no urgency. They look really nervous. No urgency.
Do you know? You said they're not even a top 6 side. Cardiff. Where are they?
It's a mid-table. They're just the same as us. Mid-table team.
We play home games, and we just seem to sort of look the away side all the time. I think I'd rather us play every game away from home. If this is
that's a good point you're making. I feel like at home we seem to be like. We'll get frustrated. Where away we seem to brings our football with ease a little bit better. Our play at home seems like we're a little bit nervous, a little bit. I don't know what it is. I can't put a finger on it. Like, can you?
No,
strange one.
I can't. No, like you say, it's totally disappointing. I mean, we came up yesterday, only from North Island. We came up yesterday, stopped round the corner. We're looking forward to the game, and you know, it's just half time. It's atrocious, man. Honestly, it's bad.
It was.
I mean, in some ways, this World Cup can't come too soon for us, can it?
But we're still gonna have Tony Murphy as the manager when we come back.
Well, yeah, I know.
Sorry,
I know.
That's just the way.
Yeah, it seems to be going. I mean, the way we seem to be going is like win one, draw one,
West Ham
lost one.
One step forward, 2 steps back.
You know. So, like you say, as soon as this World Cup's come and gone, and we get like a few players, I think we're just missing too many players out. Like Gooch and Elise, obviously the striker, and I think once we get them back and we can start, because like you say, we looked a different side from about the 65th minute mark.
Yeah. What do you think we need to strengthen in January? Obviously, Speakman's going to strengthen in January. Why do you think we need to address straight away? Why do you think we need defence midfield?
We need more strikers.
But today the strikers wasn't really. I think it was. You talk midfield, they were non-existent.
I mean, everyone was saying about that seems to work better with Ross Stewart.
Yeah.
You know, I probably sort of agree with that because on his own, he just looks out
disinterested.
Yeah.
Do you think he's putting the effort in, or do you think he's just isolated?
I can't see it. No, I don't think so. I think he just. He jumps up the odd header and it just goes nowhere, and you just feel like as though you just need some more strikers.
Translate his feet, maybe he's more.
Because I said to my wife before the season kicked off, I said if we get an injury against with Ross Stewart or. I said we'll be absolutely shagged. And I didn't know he was going to be out for as long as he's been. Yeah. But I mean, even with him back fully fit, we need. You
need more strikers. But then Speakman saying, well, even if they weren't even looking at getting another striker, that's a bit worrying. That mind, doesn't it?
Well, it is
it's a bit worrying.
The vultures are circling for Ross Stewart now. And I just heard last week how much he's on.
If somebody offers you 20 grand a week and somebody's going to offer you 50, what are you going to do?
Oh yeah, it's
a no-brainer. That's that one. There'll be another magic situation. I guarantee it.
I heard last week that the wages that some of these lads are on, and $4,000. That's what I've heard.
But you got Robertson's on 12, and you got Clark's on 15. So
15.
Yeah, the other high earners.
So if you're Ross Stewart when you're fully fit back in that side, you're going to be wanting something, aren't you? But
any positives out of the game? Everybody's down.
Well, I always think the goalkeeper always sort of. I feel like as though he's. And one player that I think has really come on this season that I didn't think was going to sort of quite cut it this season is Luke O'Nine.
He's done. I think he's done well. He has.
He's the boy. I think. But we need another 10 like him, don't we?
Yeah, that's true. But, I think changing from a 3 at the back to 4. Maybe do you think? Are you happy with that? Do you think that's not the issue?
No,
we just couldn't get out.
Yeah,
couldn't get out.
Too
many people missing as well.
Like you say, the last 20 minutes was a bit more positive, but I don't know if they were just sort of like
quickly made star performer this afternoon. No, it's hard. Patterson, good choice. Right, cheers your time, pal. Have a safe journey on, all right? Take care, buddy. All right, thanks for coming on. A very good friend of mine I've never seen for a while, Michael Bowers. Michael, disappointing afternoon, wasn't it? Obviously, I love to hear your input, and I think I know what's coming now.
I promise you I'll avoid swearing. Right, okay then. The fireworks going off in the background was more interesting than our performance today. Right, first of all, well done to Cardiff, deserve the win. I think over the first hour of the game, easily the better side.
We made it easy for them, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. No, that's the thing. At home, I think we're capable of. That's easily, for me, over 90 minutes, that's our worst home performance.
It's the worst performance I've seen for a long time.
Towards the end of the game, we're huffing and puffing, but
75
again, you've given them a lead to protect, which is why clean sheets are important. But although apparently there was, did you see? Apparently. The goal was. Some people are suggesting the goal was offside.
Well, do you know what? It's
I don't know whether it is.
It's funny you should say that. When I first went in and took a deflection, I looked straight at the linesman. I looked straight and I thought it was.
Did he take a deflection off one of our players?
No. I'm sure they kicked it and it deflected off theirs, but I'm sure he was in the offside. I could be wrong, but that's what my first initial thought was. Is he offside? But the linesman didn't put his flag up.
By the time this video goes up, people will probably have seen it.
We'll have seen it.
But from what I could see, if I can't comment on that, if it wasn't offside, then that's poor. Then that's awful defending. If it was offside, then the referees, to quote Dave the Rave, might as well go blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Why were we so poor with that? I think to me, I like the way you judge games. Like you think digest it really, really good. Why? I thought we couldn't get out from the back.
Cardiff bullied us, I think.
Do you think they pressed us in? We couldn't see.
I think so. I think so. I think Cardiff bullied us. They got into our faces, and we couldn't settle into a rhythm, could we? Every time we tried to get the ball forward, there was 1 or 2 Cardiff players straight away on us and pushed us further back.
Think that's what it was?
I think their physicality was. I think their physicality made a big difference, and I think obviously I think one of my mates always kept on saying that you want a big bullish centre midfield, and I think that's probably where. And I must admit, I think that's probably where that was missing. At the same time, I thought not starting Corey Evans was the wrong decision, and I said that at the start of the game. I hate being revisionist. I hate being reactionary and revisionist, but I think his experience would have calmed things down a bit more.
He's a wise head, and we need that experience, don't we?
And I felt that at half time I would have brought Daniel. I mean, Daniel did come off later on because Daniel was on a yellow card.
Well, see, that's at half time. How we got half time 0-0? I don't know. It was a miracle.
And we had a penalty.
As the manager at that point, he's going to look and say, change this. This is not working. We need to change the system and make a couple of subs. He didn't do anything. Why not? Why did he not do anything, Michael?
I don't know, because maybe he wanted to see if the players
would respond.
Would respond. Yeah. Well, if the play, I'm not being funny though, but if we can, I agree. I think Mowbray should have made a sub to bring Evans on because I think he would have calmed things down a bit more had he been on from the second half. So that's on Mowbray. Fair enough. What's on the players though is that if you're going to come out and play the same way, then you might as well stay at home. And
the players were awful. They were. You've got to be self-motivated.
You might as well point and go blah 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 blah.
Totally right there, Michael. Players. I mean, you need a good manager to sort tactics, but. You should be in there. You should have the fire in there to play anyway.
And to be fair, I mean, but again, it's just I think Cardiff just forced us into errors, and we just didn't
settle there.
But weirdly, we still had chances to get something out of the game, which is bizarre. But at half time, I was saying that first half, I would argue, was worse than Burnley because in the second half, because Burnley at least are a team that's going to be up there. I mean this in no disrespect to Cardiff, but Cardiff, you'd imagine, are probably going to be a mid-table side.
This league is wide open, though, Michael. I mean, everybody's beating everybody. If we just signed 2 or 3 quality more players, I honestly think we could have pushed the top two with a better manager. Obviously, no disrespect to Mowbray, but he's not the guy for me.
Sean's Mowbray out, pass it on.
I can say I'm not going to see Mowbray out, but he wasn't me choice.
I've told you. I've told you. I think Mowbray is good enough for what we're looking for right now, which I think it's a stable pair of hands for the moment, because and I want to make this clear, that's not me having low standards, that's me being realistic. We've just come up from League One after 4 years. I think Mowbray, for what we need right now, is okay, but I think once you get to a point where we want to start pushing up to go to the Premier League, I'd want someone a bit better.
He's definitely not going to be the man.
I don't mind Mowbray, I don't mind. I like some of the things he said.
He's a nice bloke, but
I know it's a nice bloke, but you know,
I don't think he's a good man.
No, but at the same time, well,
Lee Johnson said.
Well, to be fair,
said about Jack Ross as well.
Remember, John got Lee Johnson sacked apparently. So you know, so since apparently you're on the board of directors, can we get right? Well, we know who could have been here, but he chose to leave for money. So Alex Neil. But, I'm still never getting over that.
I'm still gutted about it now, but it's just.
I'm furious. I'm still going to be furious. Stoke got beat today, so yeah. That's all I'm saying.
That's made me feel a little bit better, I suppose.
But look, at the end of the day, Cardiff deserved it. I think we were second best for large parts of the game, and even in the times when we were trying to get forward in the last half an hour, we just wasn't working for us. And I think, and to be fair, I wouldn't have started Sims either, actually, because I think Sims coming on later on would have been a focal point for us to aim for. If it was saying 0-0, I think he would have been fresher and would have made more of an impact. I mean, I know some people are naturally going to go and have a go at Sims and say he's rubbish, but for me, I completely disagree.
He wasn't thinking they weren't playing the right balls to him. It was long balls played to his feet. It was just long balls against 2 centre halves. You're not going to win them.
But thankfully, the win at Huddersfield gave us a little bit of breathing space, but I think now we need to turn up at Birmingham and get a result.
The gap's is it 3 points?
It's 4 points.
Dave said that earlier on, so he's right.
4 points.
Something must have
the
changed
only
on the
team
games.
I think below us that won was West Brom at QPR.
But
to be fair, I still don't see West Brom being in the bottom 3 at the end of the season.
They'll turn the corner. Middlesbrough, West Brom, and then below.
So if you look at it, right, Rotherham got beat, which is a good result. Wigan were 2-0 up at Swansea and cocked it up. Wigan drew. They were 2-0 up. So you think Wigan's on a poor run, 2-0 up. I think who else got beat? Obviously Stoke lost to Birmingham. I think Blackpool got beat as well.
So what do you think we need, Michael? View Christmas Speakman in January. I mean, people say the strikers, but for me, Wales still need a strengthen in January. What do you think is really important?
Well, I will say, right, my opinions on Speakman still stands. I think a lot of people are overestimating, thinking he's done a bad job. However, there are things
he's done a lot more good things than bad.
But we can give him criticism, and I think getting a bullish midfielder is what we need. One with good experience.
He got most things right, but I think
there are things he needs to be done better on. Not signing another striker was poor. I think in January, if we don't go for another striker, I think that's really bad from Speakman. Actually,
that's a bit worrying because apparently somebody said that they weren't even looking at a third striker. Now, why would you not be looking?
I want to question that. Why aren't we? Now I've always said I'm sick and tired of we don't have a striker being an excuse for not winning games. However, we do need another striker. We need to get another striker who's got a bit of experience. We need midfielder that's got experience. I think we need someone with a bit of physicality and athleticism.
A big midfielder.
That's what this league is full of. More so than League One, because I still think League One is garbage. But Championship's got at least some. Mind you, the Championship's not been the step up I thought it would be.
I'll tell you something now. This season, and honestly, I firmly believe, and I stand by this. we've been more than any match for any team in this league.
Exactly.
Apart from the Burnley Jays of the second half, I think we just fell asleep. I think there's been no team this season where I thought, gee, they're way better than us. And that tells you that if we're just getting a couple more signs, we could have been right up there.
But
in
this
the
is the
mix.
thing, because if we,
midfielders, I was saying about if January, try and get someone like Bradley Dack in. He's been linked with us.
I'd say Bradley Dack personally. I think that's a bit of goals from midfield. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's an easy link because Tony Mowbray knows him from his time at Blackburn. But I just think a physical midfielder is what we need.
Yeah.
We need another striker and preferably one with a bit of muscle on him. I think as well. And I'm not going to mention, because you remember when Ross Stewart came into the club, he was viewed as the replacement for Charlie White inside him. So it wouldn't shock me if we got someone to eventually replace Ross Stewart in January. I know that's not the way people
There's another
want to think.
situation coming. I think
Yeah,
I've got a feeling he's gonna be gone like in the summer.
Well, I think we've got an extra option to give him an extra year, haven't we?
Josh Madge's situation. I've got a feeling about. I've just got a funny
don't
feeling
get me
about this.
started on Josh Madge. It's a snake. That's the thing. Oh yeah, because Madge could have easily signed the contract and he bottled it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, look, in general,
money,
we need to, I think we need to win at Birmingham now. I think I've said that for
tough game as well.
It
tough
is,
game.
but I don't think
They've sort of played well.
Well, let's put it this
way.
way.
It's winnable. It's winnable. Without,
put it this way. Here's something that might change your mind. They play today. They play on Tuesday and we don't.
So we've got
and then 3 days after playing Swansea on Tuesday,
we've got nearly a week. We've got nearly a week.
So if we're not more fresh than Birmingham on Friday, then goodness me, something's wrong. But I think more than ever for weeks we've looked like we need to get to the World Cup break. And I think if we get to the World Cup and get just a respectable amount of points above the bottom three, then we've got something to build on afterwards.
Might well just quit the game because I've kept you a
Don't
while.
ask me who played the best.
No. The World Cup. Can England win the World Cup?
No, personally not. I think my thoughts on things. I think Gareth Southgate's done well to unite us to get to the point we have, but I don't think he's good enough to get us over the line. But to be honest as well, you could argue that the reason that Gareth Southgate's thing looks so good is because what happened before was so poor that anything not rubbish looks good.
I think we've got a couple of easy routes as well. I think, and the Euros. I think with Gareth Southgate.
Do you mean like we lost to? Do you mean like how we beat Iceland in 2016? I know what you mean. Like it's not on paper. It's an easier route, but again, like we've lost games like that before. But I know what you mean. I'm personally not convinced, but we'll get behind the boys and see what they do.
Yeah, Mike. Thanks for your time, Michael. Always a pleasure.
Subscribe to this lad.
Yeah.
Great channel.
Subscribe to Michael. He's on, I think, 4,200 now.
Not that much. 4,000.
Getting there.
Me mate Chris CJ did it for us. 4,159.
There you go.
Blah 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 blah.
Michael, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, pal. Take care, bud. SFC fans reacting with a regular Dave. Jeez. After the Wednesday game, a 2-0 victory, I was on a high. I'm brought back down to reality today. That was one of the worst before. It was so dull. There was just nothing in that game at all.
No.
Nothing at all.
I think the thing is as well, on Wednesday when we got the result, we still didn't play well. Neither did they, but the conditions had a lot to do with that. But today, I think that game was lost in team selection. We played 50 minutes before we got started because... And that's not being disrespectful to the two kids in midfield, but I use that word, kids, again.
Yeah.
You're getting overrun by men.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I've said the last interview. I think a lot of people's been saying about Abdullah Bar starting. I thought he was very poor today. I thought he was really poor in possession and things like that. And I think at that point, when I look at Corey Evans and just in that middle, just a player with a wise head who keeps it simple.
Yeah.
You know, I think we just missed him today.
But you're putting people in like, with due respect to the kid, he is just that, a kid. Yeah. And you've put him in the under-21s where he hasn't really made a difference to the under-21s.
Who's that?
Bar.
Oh, right.
He hasn't made a difference there when he's played.
Yeah.
So how's he going to make a difference
in the championship?
Players, unfortunately, I don't say this very often because I don't really like criticising people, but I think that's down to Mowbray today. And when we did get going, we still didn't have enough.
75 minutes. That's when we showed a little bit of urgency. Yeah. 75 minutes is too late. I
don't know how far we've got. What the problem is, if we've got knocks, we've got injuries. I don't know if that's the case. Why he's changed things, or he's changed it because he thinks we'd do better with those players in. I don't know, because we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, really. Yeah. But Ellis Sims is obviously not match fit.
Oh, he definitely isn't. He was way off the mark. He was way off the mark and stuff.
But he was also isolated by himself up there trying to win headers, which he would have had to head for 40 yards before somebody come in to get it.
Of course, he was isolated as well.
He was isolated. So,
we couldn't get out from the back though, Dave. That's what it was. It seems like they played a high press. The box us in, frustrated us.
Yeah.
But I've said this in all the interviews. For me, how we got half time with it being 0-0. That was a miracle. At that
Yes,
point,
it was.
In a manager,
It was.
to say, look, I'm changing something. It's not working. This is not working at all. I'll make a couple of changes, a couple of subs. He didn't do nothing.
Well, at half time when they were kicking about the subs, Pritchard and Evans went away, and I thought, he's bringing them two on at half time, which seems sensible.
Yeah.
He waited until it was too late to bring them on. We did have a bit more purpose to it when they came on, and we did make a couple of chances, but really speaking, that's wrong end of the table stuff, not right end.
And that's the main thing. I think Tony Mowbray's got to take a lot of responsibility
For
this
today,
afternoon.
definitely.
I think, like you say, the team selection, I think he got that wrong. And a lot of people have been calling for Abdullah Bar, but I think he's better as an impact player. I think there's just too many players which were not at it today.
Yeah.
But you've got to get a manager who's going to kick you up with the backside and say that's not acceptable.
Well, he's
not acceptable.
also got to get a window where he can bring some players in. Yeah. And this time, on this window, we have to bring in players who are blokes, who have been around the doors. Yeah. It's no good. I mean, I saw the other day. We're looking at another player. Yeah. He's a 19-year-old from Grimsby. That's no use to us at this stage.
We've got enough kids now, when they bring experience, a striker and a few experienced, wise heads players. Yeah.
Obviously, Ballard and Stewart come back. We're saying another couple. Fair enough. But it's gone from people thinking we might make the playoffs, or we might do even better than that, to thinking, well, hang on, we're only 4 points off the bottom 3. 3
points. I looked early when I thought I didn't have a change, but we're basically from the bottom to the third, from bottom to us. I think it was 3 point gap.
I think it's 4, Sean, but
is it 4?
I think so. But
I could be
again,
wrong, pal.
Anyway. Irrespective of that, we're winning the game, and then when we come to have a chance against a team like this, we chuck it away.
And
chuck away the advantage.
It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. 2 steps back. That seems to be going to be the.
That's exactly what it is. And however, it's what it is. It's done now. We've got to go to Birmingham next week. We're playing well, and try to get to the World Cup break. With a reasonable position.
Exactly, and let's get behind the England boys, and hopefully Southgate can do it, but can't see it. Thanks for your time, Dave. Anyway, enjoy the World Cup, pal. I'll see you after the World Cup. Stay safe, buddy. All right, take care. Let's go. Take care, buddy.
Are you ready? Blah, 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 blah. Our goalkeeper. Blah, 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 blah.
That was the referee and linesman today.
Mr. Blah, blah in the players. I'm enjoying Mr. Blah, 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 blah. Mr. Blah. Right, it was poor and switched off in the first half, and not the second half was still the same, and that was not very good today. Like
it was very poor, wasn't it? Why wasn't it so good, Dave, this afternoon? Why wasn't it very good?
I was switched off and they're singing that, so we could have played better than that. I've seen them play better than that.
That's what I'm saying. We have seen them play better, but we just couldn't get it from the back.
No, we could have chances. We should have 2 penalties, so they're singing that. So like the
was that late on? They should have had
penalties. We were way cheating and all that. So they're singing that. They're singing that.
But Patterson. He saved the penalty.
He's the blah blah.
He's a player.
He's a player. He's a blah blah blah. Blah 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 Mr. Blah blah playing football next week. We've got to keep on winning. That's the main thing. Singing that. Man of the match is Anthony Patterson.
I think a lot of people said Anthony Patterson. Normally you see it every week, Dave. And he sometimes concedes 3 and 4 goals. So
he's my best player.
But apart from Patterson, who do you think played well for Sunderland?
Jack Clark.
Jack Clark played well?
You're not
what do you think the referee this afternoon?
He's cheating.
Do you think somebody paid him?
The singing we should have 2 penalties where we're going in.
He wasn't at the rave with you last night, was he, the referee?
No, he wasn't.
You didn't see him, did you?
No, I didn't see him.
You sure?
No, I didn't.
He didn't have the glow sticks in there.
No, not today. No, I was singing that, so let's see if we can see him next see what the next game right.
The next game is going to be 4 weeks, 4 5 weeks now, isn't it?
4 weeks.
Dave, I want to say for that but it's the World Cup, Dave. Can England win the World Cup?
I hope so. Like, it's going to be hard. Like the first game was a run, so it's a tough game.
Our group's not too bad, but
I should get the first round. Like, should get the first round easy, so let's hope we do well in the World Cup and also.
And then come back and say Tony Mowbray is totally rejuvenated.
We've got Birmingham next week, Birmingham City next week, and that'll be hard.
3 points at Birmingham.
I hope so. Like,
it's on Sky. It's on Sky, Dave.
Friday.
Do you feel a bit down though?
A little bit.
Normally you're hyperactive, but you're a little bit.
Let's go. Let's go, MC boy, GJ, back of the MC boy, hardcore, blah 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 blah. Right, I'll see you next home game, Shane. Right.
Praise the Lord, dear. Thank you, dear. Daniel is on SAFC Fans React. Sunderland suffer back-to-back defeats at the Stadium of Light. Slipped into the bottom half. Not a great afternoon for Sunderland. Very frustrating. Where did it go wrong?
Well, I just don't think we were at it today. Once again.
Why do you think we weren't at it?
I just don't think we were taking our chances. I don't think we were taking our chances very well. We weren't really.
We didn't really create many chances, did we?
No, not many.
Well, even the problem was that for me, we couldn't seem to get out from the back. Couldn't get out. They put a high press to the box us in. We couldn't get out.
Yeah, we were just passing it about the back, and it wasn't. I don't think it was very good today. But I think the save from Patterson was good.
That's the lift push. For me, that penalty, I mean, let's talk about that as well, if I'm a support that. But Bailey Wright, I don't know what he was doing when he passed it across to Danny Batt. He put Danny Batt in a situation. Danny Batt either take him out or just continue. Do you know what I mean? So that pass was and then Danny Batt, I don't know how he didn't get sent off, to be fair. I thought the referee was going to give the penalty, but the save by Patterson, that should be at that point where that gives the team a lift. Didn't give a lift at all. There was nothing, flat as a pancake, nothing there.
We were just passing it about the back, and I don't think it was. We just weren't good enough. We were passing it about the back. We weren't going forward. Weren't creating enough chances. I think my man of the match would be Patterson for the save, but apart from that, I don't think there was much else.
A lot of people have been saying about Barr starting. He started today. I don't think it was very good. No. I thought he was very sloppy at times in possession as well. And I mean, I'm a fan of Corey Evans. I think he keeps it solid, and he needs that little bit of experience in there. And I think we missed that today.
Well, if Danny Bart wasn't at his best as well today.
I think the penalty wasn't his fault. I think Bailey Wright basically sent him. Bailey Wright basically put him in a situation, and he
couldn't get out of.
Couldn't really get out of it, to be fair. Good victory, lads. Good victory, lads. Yeah, but I didn't think Danny Batt was too bad. I think it was just the penalty that wasn't his fault. Really, it was just the pass wasn't it?
Well, I think it's because I think we need to. Rather than trying to cross it into the box, I think we need to try and create different chances, and I think the referee was a bit biased as well.
That's a good point you're on about there. I think a lot of teams this season are very physical, and I think with not having a strike on the pitch as well, I think crosses coming in, it's not going to work. Most of our goals will basically come through playing football, like nice little inter passes and things. That's where the goals will come from. Certain put a good cross in, but Sims at that point it went off.
And then they were just using little flicks. I like the way they were using the footwork. It's just we should have been passing it about a bit better.
Yeah, we're very sloppy when we deal with the passing, weren't we?
Definitely.
We just look like we're like so nervous as well, and it was just one of them days, but it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Hopefully against Birmingham we can try and create something else.
That's our last game for the World Cup. 4 weeks off, so it's hopefully we're in there.
And then after the World Cup we've got Stuart back, hopefully. So I think he'll try and get us a bit further up the table.
Star performer, quickly, Paul. Star performer. Oh, you said
Patterson for the penalty save.
Is anybody else?
Probably Roberts or Diallo, but apart from that, I don't think it was. Yeah.
Sum the game up in one word if you can. One word.
I can't really tell.
And that's.
It's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But I'd probably say it was all right. But there has been better games.
See you time, Paul. All right.
Right.
Cheers. Take care. SFC fans reacting them with Will disappointing afternoon for Sunderland. Back-to-back defeats. Where did it go wrong?
I think we needed to push it up a little bit forward, not keep it at the back. Their keeper wasted a little bit of time on the ball with their goal kicks, but I think we just need to push forward a little bit. I think we need Ross Stewart back because win those headers in the box.
There was nothing up front, but we couldn't get out from the back up. I think we played a high press where we couldn't even pass it out from the back, and that's at the point where you've got to have a manager who can say that. If I can see it, you can see it, everybody else can see it. Surely a professional manager who's been in the game 20 years should be able to see that it's not working. Yeah, and he didn't even change anything until about the 50th, 60th minute. He's got to be accountable, hasn't he, the manager?
I think he needs to bring. I think he needs to start Pritchard over Barr. It's a controversial decision, but I think he needs to do that if you want to get 3 points and move up the table.
I've been happy with Barr coming on as an impact sub, but Pritchard, I think, as you see, I think Pritchard, it's best to start with him. But he did make a couple of changes because he wasn't happy after the game on Wednesday. He said that was the worst performance.
Yeah.
I think this one will come close. I think this one will come close, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any positives out the game?
I think we just need to take it as a high, really. Just we'll get some more confidence from this game and then take it to the Birmingham game on Friday.
Last game before the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a downer because we've got one more game left and it's going to be next Friday. We need to try and win that game. We don't want to get sucked in before the 4-week break, the World Cup. Star performer?
Yeah.
Star performer?
I would say it's a hard one, really. I'd say 09.
09.
09.
Right, your time, pal.
Yeah.
Take care, buddy. CJ is on SFC Fans React. CJ, sum the game up.
Shit show.
Shit show. That it?
Referee cost us again.
The referee? You think the referee?
Towards the end of the match, apparently some of the guys over there said that apparently there was a bit of a tugging in the penalty box. Embleton booked.
Oh, like at the end of the game, bit of handbag stuff. Yeah,
there was handbags and stuff. It's clearly pinned down in the penalty box. Booked Embleton instead of the Cardiff player.
CG, I don't think it was the referee's fault that we got beat this afternoon, though. Let's be honest. We were awful.
We were woeful.
We were absolutely. I mean, I don't like to slag the players off, but sometimes it's not acceptable. Like
from top to bottom, it was an absolute shit show.
Yeah, it was. What do you think the team selection?
Outrageous.
Huh?
Outrageous.
The team selection was wrong? Yeah. I mean, we just made it so easy for Cardiff, didn't we? So easy.
It's like you fucking drop Cheddar, Corey Evans, and then you fucking drop Pritchard from the start.
Too experienced. That's a mare. It's like other guys have said the same thing.
Barr got overran, and then you got like I would have had Pritchard in rather than Ahmad in.
Yeah. I'd rather Pritchard than Ahmad Diallo.
Yeah.
Would you? Well,
and then the only thing is, Ellis Sims, how the fuck is he still playing? He was absolutely shit today.
Yeah,
Sims.
I think he was isolated as well, though. CG. I think he didn't really get much. He was long balls. You know, he wasn't getting much support from people around him.
Sims, he started the season quite well, scoring goals for us, but he's been. I think what's changed since Mowbray came in. I think Sims seems to think that he's better than the club.
Well, there's not for me. There's nothing really changed since Mowbray coming. I think it's just it was a negative appointment. I said that, and
yeah,
he's a nice enough bloke. He is, but nice enough blokes are not always good football managers. And I think it was just a hurried, sort of rushed. Appointment. I think. Well, that's just the way it is, and it's just a shame that Alex Neil's like. But
it's like one of the guys was saying that before full time. There's like one of the fans was saying, "What the fuck are you doing to Mowbray?" Mowbray shrugged his shoulders.
He hasn't.
He's clearly he doesn't give a fuck.
Right, thanks for your time, CG. All right.
Thank you very
much.
Pal.
Take care, man. Take care. SAFC fans reacting with Ryan, a Cardiff City fan. Congratulations on your victory. Sunderland weren't very good, but look, you did what you needed to do, and well done.
Yeah, we're delighted to get the 3 points. You were very unlucky though. You could have got a few penalties.
Yeah.
Look, 3 points moves us ahead. I think of yous.
I think he's level on points, but I think
O'Dowd,
it's a goal difference. I think.
O'Dowd was brilliant. I thought, good Irishman.
Yeah.
But no, to be honest, I think he's probably need a change of manager.
Yeah.
I thought at times he was lost for answers, so maybe you need to sit down and take a look.
Do you think we need to change the manager?
Well, I think Tony maybe has a few questions to answer.
I'm trying not to say anything about Tony Mowbray because a lot of Sunderland fans say, Sean, you're obsessed with the managers, but I'll just say that it is. If I think the manager's good, like I thought Alex Neil was a good manager, and I think it was written, it was. I think Tony Mowbray is not a good manager. The
two boys in line for us today were very vocal, and I think it does help.
Yeah, I think he's played some good stuff at times. And I think as well on the counter attack he's looked well dangerous. I don't know how we got to half time with it being 0-0. Like it was.
It could have been 2 or 3.
It could have been, couldn't it? Yeah. What's your aspirations for the season, Paul?
Get the playoffs.
Do you think you can achieve it?
Yeah, I think we have a good chance going up. We get the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
and hopefully a few January signings.
That's what I was going to say. In
Yeah.
January, if you obviously come to January, you think you're going to have to maybe get 2 or 3 to achieve that.
David McCauley and Skellin Rovers, Declan McGee, boys like that would add a lot. But here.
Right, cheers for your time, pal. Right. Lee Farrell is on SAFC Fans React. Lee, back-to-back defeats at the Stadium of Light. Leaves a bit of a bitter taste in the mouth.
Well,
poor performance.
Well, we can't blame poor performance upon this when the players do try on the pitch every time. You can't handle players when you're playing 11 against 13, 14 when there's a referees involved as well. You got controversy on the EFL's decisions, what they do. We can't really go forward when we've got no strikers. Sims has just came back from injury. He can't carry the team forward when he's fatigued, he's tired all the time. You can tell by the pitch today.
So you think the players were tired this afternoon?
I think Ellis Sims was, because he can't play that long of a time.
I think
he's just came back. He's not match fit.
Yeah, he's not
definitely
match fit.
100% not match fit.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the players on today, they look very lethargic at times. When they were coming back, tracking back, they weren't doing anything of the sort. And also feedback from the manager when our manager's not on the touchline, he's sitting down with his arms crossed.
Yeah.
Like
that's what Tony Mowbray was doing.
Well,
he's not a manager who fills me with inspiration. I'll say that.
Well, I'm coming from a Blackburn supporter I spoke to last week when I was sitting in the pub one time. He said Tony Mowbray's good for stability, but he's not go forward with, because he brought Blackburn players in like sort of Bradley Dack was mentioned before. He's been linked with us. Bradley Dack, fair play, good player. Yeah. We've been linked with him. He's 29-year-old. He's never came out of this league yet.
Yeah.
He's been in this league now for about nearly 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
We need someone who's going to thrive the team forward, and we've not got that.
Yeah.
And then we've got players like Daniel Neal, who's slumping in performance, no role model, and then Tony Mowbray's lack of decisions today, deciding to drop Evans off the team and Pritchard, who really could make a massive impact at the start.
I think that was I think a lot of fans were saying, oh well, Abdullah Bar should start, and then maybe just give Pritchard a rest and mix it up. But he made 3 changes.
I think Bar's got the energy, don't get us wrong. But yeah, again, his timing. He's a young lad. He needs to get time with the under-21s as well. He's barely played. Jason Benetti came on today. He's done a little bit of an impact because he hasn't played much for the under-21s as well. He's been sitting on the bench. He's a Costa Rican player playing in the World Cup coming up soon. Yeah. He's not playing in the Championship. Yeah. That's not going to be good for the reputation of the club.
I think today, I don't know what you think, Lee, but I think this team today was crying out for like 0-0 when you get a 0-0 and you're thinking, how the hell we've got 0-0? I'll never know. It's crying for experience, isn't it? Not just the youngsters, just a little bit of experience.
We can say experience and also a bit of something to go forward with, because our experienced players are too slow as well. Today we started off Bailey Wright as a captain. Don't get us wrong, Bailey Wright's a good player. He's good at getting stuck in, but sometimes he is a bit leggy as well. He's barely played that many games this season.
He's not quick enough.
How is he going to lead a team where he's barely played? Danny Bath was a solidator at the back. People were judging Bailey Wright today. I thought he'd done all right.
He did
the ball, but he couldn't do everything.
That wasn't his fault. I mean, when Bailey Wright passed the ball to him, the strike was on his shoulder. Danny Bath was like, well, what would he do? If he leaves at the strike, then he scores. So you got to try and muscle him.
And then someone was saying to me earlier on in the stadium while I was sitting there, someone says it was Bailey Wright's fault for the goal. It was a blatant offside.
Oh no, it
was a blatant offside.
For the penalty, it was his fault for the penalty.
Yes, it's his fault for the penalty, but it was a blatant offside for their goal. Someone blamed Bailey Wright.
Well,
you can't blame the defenders when it was a blatant offside.
Me and Michael was saying that.
I was looking online just a few minutes ago while you were talking to Michael. On the Wales Online, they put on 1-0. This is decisive offside. So if this is on the Welsh source, it's definitely an offside. Yeah, and this is when the EFL needed a controversy. The Championship is the 3rd biggest league in the world with the biggest turnout on TV. Yeah. So why the hell are we not getting the VAR? And then yet again, why is our players not protesting? Anthony Parsons putting his hand up, but no one else is. No one's screaming at the referees. Today, Cardiff was going around referees non-stop for any decision.
I get your point there, your frustration, but I think with in regards to VAR, I think that's going to be in place next season. I think they are in talks to bring it in next season.
Yeah, but that's what they said the season before. And this is when they say, like, right, is the Championship making the money for it to put that in? The referee today, I don't know who he is, because he was never in the Championship League before refereeing.
No, but Lee, you can blame the referee, you can blame the Lions, you can blame VAR, but we didn't deserve to win the match this afternoon.
To be honest, first off, clearly you can tell now we are definitely not worth of a win. Second off, it turned out well, but no one to finish the goals for us. No one to finish the shot off. We've got no end product.
What went wrong today? What we're doing wrong in the game? Like,
I think what us was starting off too slow. So we need to come out in the first half, bring the burst of energy, have someone to run at them. Jack Clark's running. Patrick Robertson's opening space. No one's looking in them spaces. Like, it's a basic football where you teach a young kid to look up when you have the ball.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. Their heads are down.
Yeah.
So if you look up and look, like a bit of a De Bruyne kind of players and all that, it's not hard to do. These are advanced players.
It looked like they were so nervous from the first kick-off. Like, it looked like they were nervous. They were shaky. They didn't relax. And then when you've got nerves and you're not relaxing, you're not going to be able to play your football.
Yeah, it might be just the lads unsettled. There's a lot of stuff. We've done the moment silence for remembrance and all that stuff, and everything else. We don't know what's in the player's psychological state, so you don't know. Is there something that Tony is saying, something tactics is changed or anything? Because again, the Blackburn fan said Tony Mowbray likes to change things last minute all the time. What his plans are. He's one of them people who's a streaky manager as well.
Yeah.
You remember the last time streaky manager was Lee Johnson, we wanted him out.
So I'm
not saying Tony Mowbray out, by the way, but you know.
I'm not going to get Tony Mowbray out, but he wasn't the choice, and the day I think it was a rushed decision, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We panicked and we just appointed him straight away.
Took Mowbray out. Yeah, I think he was the first person to offer it for it, really. If you think, if someone's offering to take the job, I'll take the job. You think, who actually wants to be here, but might not be, might be wanting the money.
Any positives at the game, Lee?
Positives out of it is that like we do have a good back line, because even though we look slumpish, when our defence was strong, they couldn't get past it. Our defence is good. It's a good core. Our vulnerability is the right back, because we don't have a real right back. And this is where we need to invest in. And also Sirkin, he took a twinge. It looked like he was holding his hamstring at one point.
When later on?
Yeah, later on, but he seems to be stretched out or something like that. He's running around afterwards, so that's fine. But we need some sort of depth in the full-back slot.
Yeah, if you were speaking, if you were speaking in January, how would you strengthen?
Well, if I was speaking, I would have left by now, but you know. But like, because Speakman's got very lack of experience, but I do think that we need to let Tony pick his signings. Because like what Blackburn fans said, Tony Mowbray brought like players like Adak in, who brought Blackburn forward. He brought Berwick and Diaz in to bring them forward. He never had a sporting director like Speakman. Speakman's never been a sporting director. And I know someone out there will try criticising us for saying this. His previous role here, before us, he was a youth coordinator. So what's he doing with this club when we need experience? And that's why he's bringing in loads of youth.
The way you look at it, like I think he's going to be picking the players. Simple as. I mean, he'd probably ask Tony Mowbray, but I think
it's going to be like the Defanti era and all that stuff and all that.
He'll have this year.
You'll have to have a
star performer if you.
To be honest, the only one person who stood up for me was Dennis Sirkin. He was tracking back all the time, but apart from that, there's nothing much I can say.
Can England win the World Cup?
With Southgate in charge, I'd purely say no. But England need a decent manager on it. I know Pep Guardiola's contract runs out at the end of the season, and Pep Guardiola likes a good challenge. He likes a good challenge. Hopefully he can whip England in shape.